RoboZone is presented by Kettering University. Think differently, learn differently. Stryker, discover your strengths and follow your passion with us. Blue Chip Talent, ridiculously good at advancing careers in IT and engineering. Planning for your future, wills, trusts, probate, power of attorney, and family law. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser, your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. Michigan Legacy Credit Union, building, preserving, sharing your legacy. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of State Champs RoboZone. I'm your host, Lauren Plant. Daniela Bruce will be along in just a little bit. Check out the crowd we have here. We're in the Hoosier State, Mishawaka Penn High School in Indiana to be exact, for our first look at some real competition of Destination Deep Space. So you're going to get to check that out on this week's show. But you know what RoboZone has evolved into? Really more than just the competition. It's about the stories behind the teams. And we've got a few that we're going to share this week, just bringing communities together. We're also going to talk about Stryke Force, the world champs. Let's get to the show and let's learn a little bit about what happens here in Indiana. What has the growth of Indiana First been all about?
I'm the program director for Indiana First. We're the statewide organization that oversees FRC. Indiana First started as an opportunity to change the model of play in Indiana to the district model. So the first few years Indiana First formed, it was really focused on sustainability as a nonprofit and moving the state into the district model and getting it right. And to do that, we needed to grow a really large base of volunteers, referees, especially highly trained volunteers.
Finding reliable and hardworking volunteers is critical to any nonprofit, but just as important is finding the right sponsorship and fundraising partners.
Our teams are self-funded for the most part. Of course, there's the very gracious and generous FIRST grant programs, the NASA grants and the FRC rookie grants. But then as a nonprofit, one of the things that we've been able to do is work with corporations and other grant awarding agencies around the state to look at regional or statewide support.
All the effort funneled into Indiana First quickly paid off as the number of FRC teams in the state has exploded.
I feel like the district model helps support growth in Indiana as well.
We're really excited. We have 7 rookie teams this year, about 16% growth for Indiana. It was a big year. And then we also had 2 teams reactivate.
The fun thing about the district model is you really get a chance to know these teams. You know, most of these coaches I know real well. A lot of students I know on other teams real well. They know us.
More competitors has meant more exciting and challenging gameplay from teams forced to up their skill level if they want to advance to the state finals.
This competition has been, for lack of a better word, a scary one. This district, we actually had a lot of powerhouse teams.
The level of competition in Indiana over the last few years has really gone up. I think part of the great piece of the district model is that our teams are getting more play. So here they're getting between 10 to 12 qualification matches at each of the district events on top of potential playoff matches, and then the state championship where they're getting even more play. Because we just have so many fantastic teams, and also we have so many teams that bring so much spirit to our events. It's a lot of fun.
Hey everyone, Daniela Bruce here in the studio while Lauren holds it down out on the road. Of all the robotics companies in the world, Boston Dynamics is definitely one of our favorites thanks to their creepy, cool creations. Let's take a look back at how they helped revolutionize the robot landscape. Founded in 1992 when the company was spun off from MIT thanks to lucrative U.S. military contracts, Boston Dynamics was owned for several years by Google until they sold the company in 2017 to the SoftBank Group out of Japan. Back in 1998, work began in conjunction with over half a dozen universities on the robot dubbed Rex, which used 6 curved legs to traverse rough terrain. Then in 2005, Boston Dynamic unveiled its innovative Big Dog. The animal-inspired creation was intended as a robotic pack mule for soldiers that could carry up to 340 pounds. 7 years later, the company introduced the Cheetah. Move over, Usain Bolt, because your 28-mile-per-hour record was surpassed by this robotic wonder. Fast forward to 2016 and the unveiling of Atlas, a humanoid robot that can run, jump, and climb stairs with ease. It even gets up when viciously knocked over by its designers. Most recently, the company announced that in 2019, their Spot Mini would be the first commercially available robot. Whether you think their creations are nightmare fuel or simply the wave of the future, there's no denying that Boston Dynamics has made a huge impact on our world and will continue to do so. Okay guys, we're gonna head to our first break, but when we return, we're gonna go behind the scenes with back-to-back World FRC champions, Stryke Force. You won't wanna miss out on that. We've got all that and more coming up next when State Champs RoboZone returns.
We at Kettering believe it's very important to play an active role in the rebirth of Flint, this great American city. We sponsor several teams here in the community center that are composed of students drawn from the Flint community. In fact, when Flint closed a high school in the northern part of the city, robotics team there didn't have a home. They came here, they became part of this community, and now we're proud to say they're a wonderful addition and a part of the fabric of the Flint Community Center. We also have programs at the elementary school and the junior high level. We have camps, and we see students from the Flint community here year-round, learning, experiencing FIRST Robotics at all levels, and also seeing how that provides them a path for the future.
I love working for Stryker.
I'm genuinely excited to come to work every day.
We support each other and look out for each other.
I love Stryker because we are like a family.
At Stryker, I own my career.
There are so many different places Stryker can take me in the next 5 years.
Together,
With our
Customers.
we are driven
to make
healthcare better.
great people with a strong mission and values can accomplish great things together.
Welcome back to RoboZone. A few weeks ago, we made our way to Kalamazoo, Michigan, home to not only the Fortune 500 company Stryker, but the team they sponsor in robotics, the reigning world champions, the legendary Stryke Force. We had the pleasure of seeing firsthand how Team 2767 put together their robot for this year's FRC. We were blown away by their facility, the humility of the team, and the technical accomplishments of their design and build. Top notch across the board.
So this is our drive system. So because we do swerve, we're able to both go forward and turn the wheels at the same time. So the best way to put it is basically you can spin in circles while you're moving forward. This is an off-season project. So this is what we have. We have this done completely in the summer. It's definitely something that so many students have touched. So it's something that you pass on, you learn from the students in the past, students that are graduating. This is about the 6th or 8th year. This is about the 10th iteration. Last year, we're at about 4.6 pounds. And this year we're at about 4.1. So each year we're building off of the last. From last year, what we changed mostly was we have a 3D printed bracket. So this year we have custom 3D printed hubs.
Once the game is revealed and build season begins, Stryke Force moves from perfecting their drivetrain to focusing on designing the specific components needed to excel at this year's game, Destination Deep Space.
By the second week, we had this guy, which is made out of aluminum. After a lot of CAD, prototyping, design reviews, teams sitting down talking about, okay, how can we make this the best it can possibly be, we started to look like this. We actually used carbon fiber in multiple locations on here, these guide rods, and then also the structure. And that is for a purpose. It's not just because we like carbon fiber, it's because it needs to be light and also stiff. As you can see, we've been through a ton of different suction pads and suction cups, and we've continued on that process, CADing and testing different foams and geometries and shapes to finally get like where we are now with suction cups. You'll see these pads actually pivot, and they're on springs, so that when a ball comes in, it pivots all three and it conforms to the shape of the ball. And when they're static, it is flat and planar, so it will grab the panels.
Looks like it's going to be another banner year, and you could bet there are big and bright futures for all involved.
Here at RoboZone, we tend to focus on competitive, commercial, and educational robotics, but we're going to shift gears for a second and introduce you to a man who uses his build skills to entertain young and old alike. We had a correspondent out in Flushing, Michigan with more.
Thanks, guys. I'm Joe Johnson, and I have a very special guest here with me, Kurt Zimmerman, droid builder extraordinaire, and we have a celebrity with us here today. R2-D2 is joining us. What a beautiful droid you have here. Can you tell us a little bit about what went into making R2?
Well, this is actually a pretty simple R2. He has the aluminum dome, which everyone expects to see on R2-D2, but from the neck down, he's mostly wood and plastic. The legs, feet, and the frame are all plywood. The body is plastic wrapped around, and most of our fittings are cast resin on this one.
His arms are functioning. Can you demonstrate that?
Yeah, he likes to wave at kids when he meets them. We do school and hospital visits.
So then in December of 2015, everyone goes nuts. Star Wars fans goes nuts when they release Star Wars The Force Awakens. And even though we do see R2-D2 in that movie, we are introduced to a new droid that's unlike anything we've ever seen. And a lot of people thought it was a CGI creation, and it wasn't, or at least for the most part. Tell us about how this is a real-world functioning droid.
Well, this is the actual size of the BB-8s they used in the movie. The one that I built first was built before the movie came out. We didn't know exactly what he looked like or exactly what his size was, but I get a lot of people that costume as the characters from The Force Awakens, and they just love getting their picture taken with him.
But there always seems to be something new to bring a new generation of fans in, and one of those things that's been introduced by Lucasfilm is Star Wars Rebels. And one of the main characters on Star Wars Rebels is Chopper, which only exists as a CGI droid on television, but Kurt, you've turned him into a real-world working droid. What inspired you to create a real-world Chopper?
Well, the show itself is quite a popular show, and some of the kids really identify with this one, where sometimes the older generation identifies more with the R2-D2. So this was one that seemed like a little more of a challenge to build. There was nothing available out there, so it was kind of a scratch building challenge to do this one.
Kurt has come up with his own unique creation. Introduce us to your friend here.
Well, this is R2 Deco. He kind of harkens back to the 40s and 50s, and he's got lots of chrome like the cars had back then, and a lot of people think he looks like a vacuum cleaner. Some think he looks like a refrigerator out of the 50s. And
seeing all these droids here today makes me feel like a 10-year-old kid. Is that what you hear from a lot of people?
I do, yeah. It's just part of the childhood that you don't want to let go of. And why? I mean, why let go of it?
That's terrific. Well, thank you so much for showing me around and introducing me to your friend.
Thanks, Joe. The Force is definitely with those droids. Okay, guys, we're going to take another break. And when we return, we're going to take a look at some Indiana FIRST teams that are making a big difference in the community. All that when State Champs RoboZone returns.
It's hard for young people to get financed, and Michigan Legacy helped me get my first auto loan. For that, I'm forever grateful, and I love this credit union.
At Michigan Legacy Credit Union, students are eligible to get a car loan without a cosigner. We are offering car loans to members who are 18 years or older and have not established credit yet. If you have a job, Michigan Legacy Credit Union can provide a car loan you can afford, allowing you to make your first big purchase. Go to MichiganLegacyCU.org to learn more. Start your financial future with Michigan Legacy Credit Union.
Attention parents, if you have a son or daughter approaching college age, you need to listen to this. If your son or daughter is 18 years or older, you are soon going to lose access to their medical and university information because they are legally adults. With proper planning, you can retain access to grades and medical decisions with a simple power of attorney from Planning for Your Future. Don't wait. Call now, understand all of your rights, protect your family with Planning for Your Future.
Are you stuck in your job? Getting frustrated playing the waiting game for the next opportunity to advance your career? Let Blue Chip Talent help. As an award-winning talent acquisition company, our specialty is matching candidates with careers in IT and engineering. At Blue Chip Talent, we take a laser-focused approach to reaching your career goals. We have access to jobs you won't find anywhere else to help advance your career faster and easier. Plus, we take care of you. Employees receive industry-leading benefits and competitive perks. Don't waste another minute worrying, because we are ridiculously good at advancing careers.
Fundraising should be fresh, flavorful, and simple. We have the perfect solution at Hungry Howie's, Dough Raiser.
Probably one of the easiest fundraisers that I'm aware of. It's a logical fundraiser. You're buying a pizza and you're not paying $20 for the pizza. You're actually paying a little bit less for the pizza than what it's worth. And so to me, it's a win-win.
Go to doughraiser.com to learn more and sign up. Welcome to Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser.
Welcome back to RoboZone. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Next, we talk to the St. Joseph host team from Penn High School, who took home the prestigious Chairman's Award for the 3rd year in a row. Check it out.
So we started in 1998 with FIRST. So this is our 22nd season in FIRST Robotics, and been doing it ever since. You know what? My team about 5 years ago figured out what it's like to be a FIRST Robotics team, and it's not about the robot always. I mean, there's a lot of community outreach and a lot of community things that we do. We have this new program called Mission to Engineer, where we're trying to find people in our area that we can help support, make their lives better. On our team, the culture has certainly shifted the last few years around community outreach and doing more in our community. So it's been exciting for us.
We've got a lot of teams in the state that submit for chairmans because they're doing amazing things in their communities. Here at Penn High School, the technology that they're doing with assistive technologies is amazing.
So the Mission to Engineer program is an assistive technology initiative that we started, and it's aimed to help connect FRC teams and members of the disabled community who are in need of assistive technology. So we're working out with a boy. He goes to Moran Elementary School, and his name is Isaiah. He has arthrogryposis multiplex congenita. So that condition affects his joint movements. So his joints are either bent or fixed in a bent or straightened position. And something he was struggling with was putting on socks by himself.
Some of the cool things that we've already done, we made a really cool sock aid out of a basic 3D printer. And like a lot of the assistive technology that's out there is super expensive, but we made that right here in our lab, which cost us little to no money. And he was able to help him do a simple daily task such as putting on his socks.
We want to have all these teams who can use these skills they've learned by building a robot and have them apply it to something that will help people in real life.
It has changed the culture in my classroom. When you walk into my classroom, you'll see students doing good for others, and there's nothing more inspiring to watch, talented kids like this do computer science and do 3D printing and do design, do fabrication, and give it to someone and make their life better. That's what it's all about.
This season, we've worked hard to expand our coverage of competitive robotics. So this week, we're spotlighting RoboNation. This nonprofit organization empowers middle school to college students to find innovative solutions to global challenges. What makes RoboNation so unique is that their events take place in the air, on land, and in the water. Here are some of the group's most interesting competitions. In 2002, the Student Unmanned Air System has helped promote aerial technologies and careers through autonomous flight and navigation. International Aerial Robotics Competition is the longest-running collegiate aerial robotics challenge in the world, creating fully autonomous flying robots while completing missions with real-world applications. We move from air to land with the Intelligent Ground Vehicle competition that dates back to 1992. Teams must design, power, and construct a robot that can follow lanes, detect obstacles, and follow waypoint navigation. RoboNation has most recently made a splash with their water events, including RoboBoat. In this event, students make autonomous robotic boats that must navigate and race through an aquatic obstacle course. If you want to go deeper with aquatic robotics, then check out RoboSub, which requires high school and college competitors to create autonomous underwater vehicles that navigate through a series of tasks. RobotX is RoboNation's most complex competition to date, so much so that the event only happens every 2 years. The next one is scheduled for 2020 in Honolulu, Hawaii. Finally, there's the Sea Perch Challenge that has regional events across the country and a national championship at the University of Maryland. Teams are tasked with creating an underwater, remotely operated vehicle that must complete both a timed obstacle course and a rescue and recovery mission. With this incredible lineup of events, RoboNation is an organization that everyone interested in robotics should be aware of. All right, guys, we've got one more break for you, but when we return, we've got some exciting coverage from the first ever Robot in 3 Days competition at Kettering University. And then Lauren's gonna wrap things up from our visit to Indiana.
Kettering University is a jewel among American higher education. We have some of the finest engineering and science and business programs in the country. All of our students spend half of their time in the classroom and also half of their time in the professional practice of their discipline. Connecting those two things is a powerful way to learn a discipline. We're famous for our contributions to the automotive industry, but we do so much more. We have some cutting-edge facilities in biomedicine and biomedical research, in applied physics and acoustics, some of the most amazing chemical engineering laboratories in the Midwest. All of these facilities are accessed and accessible by undergraduates. Virtually all of our students are employed upon graduation, usually 99 to 100% of our students. There's no other institution that prepares students quite as well as we do.
I love working for Stryker.
I'm genuinely excited to come to work every day.
We support each other and look out for each other.
I love Stryker because we are like a family.
At Stryker, I own my career.
There are so many different places Stryker can take me in the next 5 years.
Together with our
customers,
we are driven
to make
healthcare better.
Great people with a strong mission and values can accomplish great things together.
Welcome back to State Champs RoboZone. And hey, if you missed any part of our show, you can catch up with us 24 hours a day on our website, RoboZoneTV.com, our Twitter page at RoboZone Show, as well as on Facebook, YouTube, and IGTV. Back in January, Kettering University hosted a truly one-of-a-kind robotic competition, which launched the same weekend as the Destination Deep Space game reveal.
We have a whole group of college students across the hall building a robot in 3 days.
Members of Kettering's FIRST alumni group gathered together to build an FRC bot in only 3 days.
I can tell a lot of these members are heavily involved. We're gonna have some serious dedication and time put into this robot. I could see spending a lot of time here over the next 3 days because we've got that 72-hour window and that's it, but hopefully we can make a pretty good robot in that time.
2 weeks after the build was completed, Kettering made history by competing against 4 other Michigan colleges, including the University of Michigan, Michigan State, Ferris State, and Grand Valley State. As far as we know, this has been the only collegiate-level FIRST Robotics event of its kind. For the matches, teams randomly assigned and the winner based on their win-loss record. Early on, Michigan State's robot had a catastrophic accident that nearly ended their day. However, the other universities rallied together to help MSU get back on the field, back in the game in time for the next match. And in fairy tale-like fashion, the Spartans clawed their way back to tie the Wolverines going into the final match. To find out the winner between these rival schools, we go to Kettering's Joel Hurd.
On behalf of Kettering University, Mr. Bob Nichols, the director of the FIRST Community Center, and all of us who worked so hard to put this competition together, we want to present to the University of Michigan the first annual FIRST Alumni Collegiate Competition Championship Award.
Congratulations, University of Michigan.
1, 2, 3, go Blue!
For our final story of the episode, we head back to Indiana to meet the FIRST team from Castle High School in Newburgh.
My son started as his sophomore year
And I've always been talking to him about being involved in his community and leadership. And he came to me and he said, Mom, I want to be on the robotics team. At that point, I had no idea what he was signing up for. But we jumped in and with both feet.
And like so many participants in the FRC, her son was transformed by his time on the team.
So it's really helped him be a social person. Our first year as rookie teams, he was the mascot for our team. And to watch him out there throwing up pom-poms and really enjoying a stadium of screaming people was a huge growth experience for him. This year, I have my senior that's getting ready to graduate, Ryan, and I brought in my freshman, Tyler, so I have 2 boys on the team this year.
Seeing the importance of FIRST, Leanne also joined the team to expand their reach beyond the robotics field.
I am a mentor for the business team and for the outreach team. So we did the Play for Kate softball tournament where we built a robot, and that robot went around and served drinks.
With the experiences of starting a team still fresh in their collective memory banks, Castle High put their newfound knowledge to use by helping other schools start up FIRST teams.
They've been inviting teachers and students to their shop during build season from the area high schools, and they also host their own local kickoff event.
During our build season this year, we had Mater Day and Wright Memorial come and visit our high school so they could see our robotics lab and talk to them about what it takes to get funding and sponsorships.
That's been crucial because then those schools reach out to Indiana FIRST and say, we want to learn more.
Last year, we had North High School come to a competition with us, and they actually built a demo robot, so we helped them get started with their team. So if they have their community support and their school support, parental support, anything is possible.
All right, so that's all the time we have for this week's edition of State Champs RoboZone. Isn't it great, though, getting a chance to tell some of these stories, share what's happening here in the robotics community and how they're reaching out and helping others or getting more involved. It's really terrific, and we're psyched up about it. Next week, we are back in Ohio. It's going to be a very special edition, our final edition for television this year of State Champs RoboZone, and we're following the Lake Orion, Michigan team as they made their way to Ohio. Please be with us next week. For Daniela Bruce, for Demba Rashawn, I'm Lauren Plant. Make sure you follow us on all our streaming platforms. RoboZoneTV.com is the website, and get you up to date on everything that's happening this robotics season. Once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. RoboZone is presented by Kettering University. Think differently, learn differently. Stryker, discover your strengths and follow your passion with us. Blue Chip Talent, ridiculously good at advancing careers in IT and engineering. Planning for your future, wills, trusts, probate, power of attorney, and family law. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. Michigan Legacy Credit Union. Building, preserving, sharing your legacy.